Right away, the title card blends a Halloween orange with a Christmassy font.
Took place in the holiday worlds of old. Now, you probably wondered where holidays come from.
And fun fact about the narration, it's Santa. Funner fact, it's part of a poem Burton wrote that was initially recited by Patrick Stewart. In fact, Stewart's reading is still on the soundtrack, and there's even an epilogue where years later Santa goes back through the doors and meets up with an old Jack Skellington who says he would do it all again, which is kind of perfect. Loving the lens flare as we spin around to the Christmas tree. Ha! Jack in Disguise is the first character we see.
This is Halloween, pumpkins scream in the dead of night.
Absolutely iconic song that will be stuck in your head for the next 72 hours, and The Last Pumpkin is really getting into the head on a spike spirit. Oh, so it's Tim Burton's movie. Got it now.
In this town we call home, everyone.
It's such a specific choice to make all the vampires different sizes, but all sing in falsetto.
I am the clown with the tearaway face!
After Beetlejuice, we all know that Burton held himself back for the tearaway face. Just leaves blowing in the wind? Nope, Sally's entrails. Or maybe just her blood. Chekhov's Moogie Boogie. Moogie, because moon and oogie. I don't need to explain myself to you.
Life's no fun without a good scare.
That's our job.
But we're not mean in our town of Halloween.
It's fun lore that, yes, they're monsters, but it's just their job to make Halloween scary. It's not done with malice. But I hear ya, the mere existence of this thing kind of brings it all into question. Now that's an entrance. First, setting himself on fire from the inside, diving into the water, and rising like some kind of deity. And they're also supportive. Even the tree is alive and blinking. Excellent sound design with Dr. Finkelstein's chair getting louder off screen as he gets closer. Such a cool PG spin on what initially seems like a classic Frankenstein's monster design. We love Zero's design so much that Margot sleeps next to this dude every night.
I excel without ever even trying.
So the entire catalyst for this movie is that Jack has the 2016 Casey Neistat affliction. Succeeding is just too easy. What a poster shot.
Since I am dead, I can take off my head to recite Shakespearean quotations.
We'd all totally do this, right? Like, you have a removable head, the first thing you're gonna do is a little Alas Poor York. Jack's teeth are inside his mouth, separate from the lines on his skull, because everything is more about the vibe of creepy and spooky. I don't think he's an actual skeleton.
There's an empty place in my bones.
Iconic. If I'm being honest, there are other shots in this film that are cooler and more iconic, but in the end, this is the one.
Yes?
Shall we then? You're mine, you know. I made you.
Yeah, so he's a creep, right? At first I thought he was George Burns, but it's actually William Hickey, Uncle Lewis from Christmas Vacation. So, yeah, creep regardless.
All right. Here you go, boy.
Generosity. Chekhov's Zero the Orange-Nosed Ghost Dog. Love learning that This Is Halloween is diegetic.
I've got the plans for next Halloween.
And the plans for next Halloween are amazing. Standard bat. Makes sense. Don't want to go too crazy with some out-of-the-box type of bat or pumpkin. A cat, though? That's where you get creative. The reveal of the mayor's two personalities is great. The fact that he's a politician and only has happy or panicked is almost too on the nose. You ever wonder if the jack-o'-lantern sun would create orange sunburns? Actually, it kind of explains the mayor's two faces. Huh. Can't quite put my finger on what idiot that reminds me of.
What is this?
Because of the song? You guys get it. I love that the doorknob looks like just another ornament at first, and then this shot? Maybe it's easy in stop motion, but even that someone thought of this doorknob reflection shot and then did it and it looks fantastic is all totally nuts to me. Look, I didn't grow up with this movie, and although I've learned to love Halloween as I get older, Jack's enthusiasm is genuinely how I feel when things get cold and snowy and there are Christmas lights up.
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere. What's this? There's white things in the air.
This is a short movie, so it makes sense that the plot is really trucking along, but we're only 15 minutes in and already at what's this? If this movie came out today, we wouldn't even have gotten to Halloween Town yet. And yeah, I know I sound like an old curmudgeon saying things were better back in my day, but if you kids don't get off my lawn, then I'm gonna bang it at you.
What's this? What's this? There's something very wrong.
The way the elves' la-las start on their own and then meld into the song and move with the chord change is so clever.
What's this?
New wake-up program for my kids just dropped. Ooh, the cotton ball train smoke.
What is this?
The slight tonal shift in the music and in Jack's voice is a nice reminder that he's still the Pumpkin King of Halloween Town. The vampires using umbrellas for the Jacko-sun?
Sound the alarms!
That screams siren. Man, this movie rocks. The frog just sits there waiting to burp into soup. It's nice to have purpose. And now we know where Hannibal got its inspiration.
As strength as it is.
Clever girl. The mayor driving a hearse is about as Tim Burton as it gets. Or as Harold and Maude as it gets. Pretty nice of her considering he's keeping her captive. It's essentially the Charlie Brown Christmas tree and they are mesmerized.
It's a rat!
Will it break? Perhaps it's the head that I found in the lake.
Ha! Because they were dredging it looking for Jack.
Did anyone think to dredge the lake?
Also, my goodness, Otho is crushing this role. It still surprises me every time I remember that the mayor is Glenn Shaddix.
Oh yes, does it still have a foot?
Let me see, let me look. Is it rotted and covered with gunk?
I keep coming back to the line at the beginning about how they're not mean, and yet they want a severed foot in the stocking. They can't not be scary monsters.
Well, I may as well give them what they want.
And he really wants to make it happen, because Jack realizes they don't get it, but tries to sell it anyway. Pretty much guarantees it's doomed from the jump. Look, this is a special movie to lots of people, and I'd never change a thing except for this guy. I'd like to just delete this guy from the movie. But I absolutely love every single time the ghoul with the axe in his head is on screen because he has the perfect dead-eyed stare that never changes. You know, because axes and brains don't mix.
And they call him Sandy Claus.
Gosh, he's really selling it. Also, I can't believe this is the first time someone took Santa's name, didn't really change it, and came up with an entirely new meaning. And I mean, it works. He's all red, like a lobster or crab, who also gets sand on his claws. So how do I invite a Black Widow to put that up in my house?
Curiosity killed the cat, you know. Come on into the lab and we'll get you all fixed up.
It wasn't a warning, it was an encouragement. Was always afraid I'd do that in biology, but man, sometimes it's too much detail. The juice, the seeds, the foam. I mean, that's way more impressive. Accidental Spider-Man logo. And is that a Death Star ornament? Huh, yeah, Brandon Gleeson did it better. Although that really is a dope superpower, and I have to imagine inspired Bender in this scene.
I don't know how you did that.
Love the band, and love that they're playing Sally's song as she walks by. Ha, the best bits are Chestnut's Over and Open Fire and the illustrations of Santa Claus. But I spent too much time thinking about how the square root of December 25th is the 12 days of Christmas, or how 3 pi squared probably has something to do with dessert. Well, Sally's a witch. Amazing visual though. Actually, the detail on every little claymation figure and set is astounding. The little spiral on the windows, the band's instruments, jack-o'-lantern street light, the wood grain detail on all the wood surfaces, right down to tiny screws and wire for the picture to hang. No detail overlooked. Wolfman being classically trained in musical theater movements always makes me laugh.
Just because I cannot see it doesn't mean I can't believe it.
Look at him get into the meaning behind Christmas all by himself.
It should belong to anyone, not anyone in fact, but me.
Oh, well, I mean, that's the meaning for some people too. Mostly kids. Greedy little kids.
And that's exactly what I'll do.
Jack is the protagonist and overall pretty likable, so his evil laugh reminds us that he's still literally a monster. Not to mention that Christmas light electric chair is both awesome and also really grim. He's still nailing it, or axing it. Full 16 seconds and his pupils do not move.
It's Boogie's voice.
It says something that the mayor is afraid of Oogie's henchmen. Ha, and the mayor puts his hand down in the ink and then leaves a print on his face. In great detail that it's not just a tie, but a pet.
Leave that no-account Oogie Boogie out of this.
Of course, Jack. Wouldn't dream of it, Jack.
Solid build-up. I don't know what it is, but I trust those boogie kids. Must be their faces. Jack's Spiral Hill in the background, complete with the tombstones at the base.
First, we're going to set some bait inside a nasty trap and wait.
By the way, Shock is also Catherine O'Hara.
Then Mr. Oogie Boogie Man.
The way the other two bow when Shock says Mr. Oogie Boogie Man, it's a nice hint at how scary he is. Well, that explains some stuff we see later that I'd like to pretend we'd never actually see. The henchmen are the first actually scary thing about Halloween Town. Everyone else is just doing their job, but these three are definitely dangerous little creeps. I guess I'm saying I'm starting to think about maybe not trusting them. Jury's still out. I don't know, this much pageantry can't be evil, right?
Sandy Claus.
Also, solid move to keep Oogie's appearance a secret until he gets his own song.
A 1 and a 2 and a 3 and
Oh my gosh, he's alive? When I was talking about the band earlier, I just thought he was a fun little feature of the bass. Head and coffin bass doing the count-off is maybe the best detail in the entire film.
I had the most terrible vision.
That's splendid.
Not even listening to what she's saying. Typical guy. Am I right, ladies? Oh wait, but no, they're like the Hellraisers in that Rick and Morty episode where bad means good.
It's going to be a disaster.
Just follow the pattern. This part's red. The trim is white.
More like Jack the Patronizing King. Am I right, ladies? It's kind of bananas to think that a Disney Kids movie from '93 has a scene where a dead guy with an axe in his head scares the Easter Bunny. Hell of a drug. Little hints along the way that if it comes down to it, Jack does not play.
Master, the plan.
Introducing Igor past the halfway point is a choice, and he does not disappoint.
Snakes and mice get wrapped up so nice.
Creepiest dissonant harmonies ever. I'm starting to think Halloween Town people really don't get Christmas.
Time to give them something fun.
But dang it if they aren't still trying. Ah, no. No, you go away.
Done this with all our tricks. We're making Christmas time.
New Matryoshka fear unlocked. It's also reminding me of the Matryoshka doll that these guys live in every day. I like that it's not just the creepy crawlies that get cool gadgets, even if it's still unsettling. Jack in the Box match cut. Personally, I like to think that Lock, Shock, and Barrel didn't take a month to find Santa because they're bad at their jobs, more that they just don't care.
Ow.
See what I mean? He's not even really Bones.
Why, you have hands. You don't have claws at all.
You were thinking of Robot Santa the whole time, weren't you? The candy stuck to Santa's beard from the henchman's bag is great, but Jack picking a piece out and chucking it is perfect, and kind of gross.
This is worse than I thought. Much worse.
I love that we can still hear Jack trying to perfect his ho-ho-ho in the background.
We'll have conversations worth having.
Look, I've got an ego, but bro thinks that he and someone else with half his brain will create better conversations than full-brained people. That's some self-confidence. The nails being pushed out as Santa goes down the pipe, and love the reveal of Oogie. His design is so simple, but also genuinely creepy and effective. So he's like the devil? This is hell, he's torturing things? Or are they like into it? Either way, song is a bop. The black light going away makes Oogie even creepier. Before he's some kind of neon monster, but then under normal light he's just like a huge dude in a burlap sack. Like the Strangers. No thanks. Here Comes Santa Claus on a minor key really sucks the joy right out of it. I love it. Coffin Sleigh is kind of killer.
This fog's as thick as
jelly brain.
Solid example, Cyclops. Relatable, very relatable.
My, what a brilliant nose you have. The better to light my way.
Zero the orange-nosed ghost dog payoff.
Can't shake this feeling that I have.
Catherine O'Hara is insanely talented. We really don't deserve her. It's amazing that this
Irv, Herblinger, Bing, Livehanger, Liveling.
and this are also both Sally. Catherine O'Hara is always a win.
And will we ever end up together? No, I think not.
Also, this song is just fantastic, and Sally is the OG emo girl. Jack's finally got his take on Ho 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 down, and it's wonderfully unhinged. Wow, for PG, this movie actually goes way harder than you'd expect. I always assumed if my toys came to life, it'd be more like Toy Story and less like Small Soldiers, and the vampire has Mickey Mouse ears. That kid is losing it. Again, I really feel like Futurama loved this concept so much they built their entire Xmas storyline around it, and it makes me like this movie even more.
Look, Zero. Searchlights.
His clueless optimism. Dude has Santa tied up, plans on killing him, and yet still elbows him like, check out them games. Boogeymen are the worst. Am I right, ladies? And absolutely no shade, but I don't think anyone is surprised that Oogie Boogie's a foot guy or a tickle guy. It would be kind of hilarious if Jack did die here. I mean, I'm not sure he can die, but I love that he keeps up that jolly attitude so that the kids aren't completely traumatized by this movie. Only partially.
Jack has been blown to smithereens.
The The mayor just drives off.
In a million years they'll find me only dust.
Okay, maybe Jack was the original emo kid. He's making Chris Carrabba seem well adjusted with these lines. Not only is it rad that entering a grave gets you back to Halloween Town, but it makes me wonder what secret doors there are to the other holiday towns. Like, is there a back way into Valentine's Day Town? Is that what those back rooms in Hollywood Video were? Or can you get to St. Patrick's Day Town by listening to Kneecap?
What? Snake eyes?
Man, you couldn't just be evil, huh? You had to also be a cheater? Well, that doesn't bode well for you, friendo.
What the? Hello, Oogie.
Honestly, that's a second pretty badass entrance. Why does Oogie Boogie have Thanksgiving robot pilgrims? Did he steal them from Thanksgiving Town?
How dare you treat my friends so shamefully!
Dang, took him out. Also, no, thank you. And that was the inspiration for Violent Night. Possibly the best lyrics in the whole movie.
Happy Halloween! Merry Christmas!
Aw, they made up. Always knew Santa was a good sport. About kidnapping, false imprisonment, torture.
As anyone can see, we're simply meant to be.
Okay, this song actually beats Sally's solo, but only because it's so dang happy, resolving on the major chord this time, and also I'm just a serious sucker for duets. Also, the inspiration for Corpse Bride. Probably. But also somehow this creeptacular movie turned into a love story that's really sweet and leaves me feeling all warm and fuzzy. Like I totally forgot about this guy, and by golly, that's a win. Love. Well, that's definitely one of the best Tim Burton What? Selleck? Tom Selleck directed this? Crazy. Good mustache. I kid, Henry, I kid. I listened to the commentary and Tim, oh, sorry, just got like instantly sick. I listened to the commentary and Tim was very clear that Henry was so crucial to the film that Tim didn't feel the need to direct or even co-direct. So he just put his name in front of the movie. I'm kidding again. This movie very clearly comes out of the mind of Tim Burton and was executed by Henry Selick, and that's a major part of why it's such a classic. The design is great, the story is fun and straightforward, and many of the songs are super catchy. It's also basically everything great about Tim Burton's whole thing while being original enough that it doesn't feel played out, or it definitely didn't at the time. And it's a big swing, a Halloween Christmas crossover based solely on adding the word mayor to the first line of a famous poem. That takes some gumption. But it ends up being both a Halloween and Christmas movie, and therefore also neither. Like, it works for both of those holidays, but it also totally works in April. It's like Die Hard for kids. Just kidding, Die Hard is for kids. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. But what I really mean is that it's the rare holiday movie that someone could put on at any time of the year and really wouldn't seem out of place. That alone is impressive. Granted, Jude used to watch Home Alone year-round, and Margot now watches The Grinch year-round, so what do I know? We're a bit of a holiday-themed family. But speaking of impressive, can we talk about how awesome the stop motion is? They started working on this film in 1991. As much as I don't want to admit it, my chronic back pain reminds me that 1991 was a long time ago. And this film still looks incredible. Every detail is so on point. It's a gorgeous art form, and this film is at the top of the list. I mean, it's no Wallace and Gromit, but it's up there. And I really think that we have Burton and Selick to thank for studios like Laika. I mean, Selick was the supervising director of Laika back when it was called Will Vinton Studios, but that's a story for another time. So thank you, Nightmare Before Christmas, for some of my favorite movies, Coraline and Kubo and the Two Strings. Next week, a wild ride.
They call him Sandy Claus.
Instead of Claus, he writes Claus. Now that's humorous.